Hello, Angelus Demonus reporting in. I'd like to share with you a small video series preparing you for the third installment of Deep Dungeon, Eureka Orthos. While the topics discussed may lean heavily on soloing Eureka Orthos, some info may carry over to party runs as well. If you're a first time runner to Deep Dungeon and for the new Eureka Orthos, this video will go over some things you can do to prepare beforehand. The most important thing to do beforehand is to clear Palace of the Dead up to floor 50 and finish the Endwalker main scenario, as that is the officially listed requirements to enter Eureka Orthos. Thankfully for some people, Heaven on High is not required to do or complete. However, Heaven on High experience will definitely not hurt, as it will help you get used to the 100 floors as well as the Pomanders coming from Silver Chests specifically. Demi-clone generators in Eureka Orthos will seemingly be the new Magicites of Heaven on High. You'll want to figure out a place on your hotbar for this very useful macro, /StatusOff Transfiguration. In Palace of the Dead, we use this to kick us out of Rage, Lust, and Resolution on demand. Can you click the status off with the mouse? Of course you can. But trust me, in a pinch situation, the aforementioned macro will really come in handy so you don't click off something you did not mean to. It is very possible to die while transformed, so the macro is especially useful since you cannot heal while transformed. If you get in danger with your HP, you can kick out ASAP. You will want to condition yourself to use your potions and defenses before you use the new Dreadnought Pomander to increase your survivability. A neat trick is if you're a melee DPS, Bloodbath did work with the Rage Pomander in Palace of the Dead since it was physical damage, so I suspect Bloodbath will once again work with the new Dreadnought Pomander. It will be a strong assumption the status will be called Transfiguration, but if it is different, we will be updating that information as quickly as possible. If this will be your first serious go at a deep dungeon, aside from potentially having an open hotbar spot for the macro mentioned earlier, you will want 2 more open hotbar spots for your regeneration potion and a regular healing potion or tincture. In Deep Dungeon, we will have exclusive items that were called Sustaining Potion in Palace of the Dead and Empyrean Potion in Heaven on High. These were essential for specifically soloing, and you'll be going through a lot of them every run. These specific potions provided a 15-second HP regen with a 15-second recast, which means you'll have a HP regen up full time no matter what job you are on. In the previous Deep Dungeons, as you kill enemies, they would occasionally drop healing potions such as high-quality max potions in Palace of the Dead and high-quality super potions in Heaven on High. These are definitely great for an emergency heal if you're in a pinch, or god forbid any crazy DPS checks like floor 180 Behemoth in Palace of the Dead. For solo tanks and healers, tinctures are popular instead of healing potions to push out some extra damage, which never hurts when you're trying to race against the clock or kill a boss in time. It's worth noting, super potions and tinctures share a cooldown timer, so you can only use one at a time. Either way, you'll definitely want open spots for these 2 essential items. Food will also be a good idea to stock up on for Eureka Orthos. While the secondary stats won't make the difference between clearing and not clearing, getting the extra HP from using food can be the difference in living just 1 extra hit to keep the run going. Using your normal raid food will be fine. Thinking about having a crack at soloing the new Deep Dungeon? You and me both. However, if you want to try to solo from the very beginning, like you never want to see another gamer in your Eureka Orthos instance ever, be warned that it will be quite the difficult task building your Aetherpool arm and armor solo. Historically in the previous 2 Deep Dungeons, it was challenging to try to build your arm and armor solo from 0-0. But if you want to try it anyway, just be ready, it might take some time. You may need to repeat the first 10 floors a few times to slowly level up your power, or just concede you might almost take the full lockout to get through 10 floors. Ideally, if you're looking to get that arm and armor up as fast as possible, match parties will be the way to go. Considering Eureka Orthos will obviously be new, the early days will be busy with queues, and I almost expect you get instant queues for a while. Since roles do not matter, The game just takes the next 4 people in line and you're in. We'll also make an assumption that Eureka Orthos should work like Heaven on High at floor 30, where killing the floor 30 boss will guarantee a +1/+1 in your arm and armor, along with one of the new Potsherds. You'd want to get to floor 21 to 30 as soon as you can to build your arm and armor and regeneration potions so you can start prepping for serious climbs both solo and in a party. Lastly, if you're seriously thinking about putting some time into Eureka Orthos, I would highly recommend trying either of the 2 previous deep dungeons beforehand, Palace of the Dead and or Heaven on High. If you will only pick one to try, choose Heaven on High since Eureka Orthos has been dubbed Heaven on High 2.0 and will likely have 100 floors just like Heaven on High. For the gamers currently hunting down their solo titles of the Necromancer and or Lone Hero respectively, they will tell you that the experience from one carries right over to the other. Toolkits, pomanders, and enemies may have some differences, but the knowledge and experience that you learn will aid you tremendously going from one deep dungeon to the other, and that should very much be the case going into Eureka Orthos. If you want a head start on what Deep Dungeon is all about, spend some time in the current Deep Dungeons. I promise you'll have a lot of fun, especially if you dive into it solo. What do you think? Let me know your ideas and thoughts in the comments below. Part of me is interested in how a discussion like this will age after a year or so even if your idea sounds ridiculous, you might end up being the smartest gamer in the comments. Stay tuned for more videos in this series, as well as when I dive into Eureka Orthos when it goes live. Solo, of course. Have a good one.